Hey guys, what is going on? It's Dardan here, and I'm here with a video about the new bosses and some information you probably didn't know already. Alright, so first up, there are 6 new mini bosses inside the Slayer dungeon, and in order to access them, you need a key for each boss. Now, these keys are dropped by the monsters in the dungeon, so there are like 5 different ones, and each do different things. Now they also drop the keys randomly, so there's no like one NPC can only drop one key. They all drop these keys randomly, so it doesn't really matter which one you're killing. So anyways, in order to get inside the room of the bosses, you're gonna be needing a key to the name of the boss. So there are 6 different keys. So I have here the Secundus key, then here I have the Tertius key, the Quartus, the Quintus, the Primus, and the Sextus. Nice name, by the way. So these are the 6 mini bosses, and in order to get in the room, you'll be needing to use one key each time. So it's one key per kill. So you're gonna need a lot of keys in order to get the bow if you want to get the bow. Since the dungeon is magic based, you'll be needing to use ranged on there. So the best way to do this is by using Pernix, because it has pretty good defense and it has really high damage. Now the second choice would be for the Armadillo, since it still has the damage, but it does have less life points. And now if you want tank gear for the bosses, like if you are trying it for first time, or you just want to like last longer, you can use the Death Lotus, since it has really high armor defense and really high life points. Anyways, in the dungeon they also drop the Ascension shards and the Ascension fragments. Now these are different, so with the Ascension shards you can make your own Ascension bolts, and these you can use with the Ascension crossbow. Those are the level 90 bolts. Now you cannot use this with any other bow, unless like it's a offhand broom crossbow, but that's glitched. And then for the Ascension fragments, you can use it with bronze bolts, and then you can make the fragment bolts. And these are level 60 base, but if you're fighting against the Ascension creatures or the bosses, they do the same damage as the royal bolt. So these are then the same if you're doing damage against the Ascension monsters in there. Otherwise, they are pretty bad bolts. As for the weapons, I prefer using the Zarad bow because it's a fast weapon type, and those have slightly more damage compared to the average or the fastest types. Anyways, you can also use the royal crossbow or the dual guided crossbows as well, but these come with the ability of needle strike, and needle strike is a delayed animation which is really annoying when you're fighting the bosses, so I don't really prefer using that. Anyways, you can use the Scrimshaw of Cruelty. It's actually a really good Scrimshaw for range. It poisons your enemy the whole time, and you can do up to 550 poison, which is really awesome. And it works for everything you attack, so you can also poison the minions as well. And then as for auras, it's up to you. I prefer using the Vampirism, otherwise the Penance or the Sharpshooter, even though you don't really need that because your curse is pretty high. As for the inventory, I take a pack yak filled with food. Now it doesn't really matter if you use rocktail soups or the rocktails, but these do heal 300 more. Then I use one overload flask, charming imp because they drop charms. Now they do drop 6 at a time, so it's quite useful to use it. Then 4 super restores, and I always take around 6 to 8 keys for one trip. Then also a adrenaline flask to get my adrenaline up a bit quicker, and the dual ring so that I can teleport back to here and go straight back. Alright, so it's located near the Veldip, south of the Veldip Hills and west of the Ooglock, or however you pronounce it. But the fastest way to get there is by teleporting to mobilizing armies and just run a bit northeast and until you see like a chapel or a church kinda is. Alright, so here's a map of the dungeon, and as you can see each boss has his own private room, and the rooms are also instant, so you won't get crashed by other people. Now you can only do this solo or duo, and duo is possible if you're together in a co-op slayer task, and you don't need to be on the Ascension creature slayer task in order to kill these. You can just kill them without being at a task at all. Alright, let's start off with the bosses, and bear in mind that you do more damage at each boss if you stand close by, so always be sure to like stand as nearby as you can. And the second one is that they all have the same special attack, which is the lightning one, and the attacks are predictable, so that the first attack looks for your previous location and the second lightning looks for your future destination. So if you click on the map at north, he's gonna use the lightning at the north side. Anyways, that's how you can predict the attacks. Now with Sextus it's a bit hard because he uses 4 lightnings and you can get confused at times. But just like be sure to run around the room the whole time and look out for those lightnings. And they also stay for 7 seconds at the Sextus one, because he's doing 4 at once. It can be annoying, but they stay for 7 seconds instead of 3 seconds, which is the normal time of the lightning on the ground. When doing these bosses for the first time, it can be a bit annoying and tricky, but these get really easier over time if you get what they are doing and how to do max DPS on them. So yeah, but the best tactic is just run around the room, and yeah, that's actually for all the bosses, with the exception of few who have some really cool specials. The next boss is called Quartus, and he's pretty easy. On top of the lightning attacks, he has a special attack that he teleports you to him after he's lost 25% of his life points. And this can be sometimes annoying, but it also can be sometimes helpful if you're stuck in the lightning and he teleports you to him and then you escape the lightning, which is pretty funny. But yeah, other than that, just like run around him in a circle and you should be getting him killed in less than around a minute, to be honest. Alright, so the next boss is called the Quintus one, and he makes a line in the room on top of the lightning attack, obviously, and he can make around 3 lines in total to make your area smaller, and if you step over the lines you get 2.4k damage at max, so this one is really annoying. But there's a trick to this: if you stand one step behind the line and then run over it, you won't get damage, just like as the QBD Fire Breath. So that's a pretty good tactic to use here, and once you get the hang of it, you can do this boss with ease. Alright, the next boss is called Secundus, and he's not that hard, but he can be tricky at sometimes, as his ability is that he does the lightning attack more often, so he does them faster, which can be annoying sometimes when you lose track of his attacks. But other than that, you can get him down quite fast and easily, but sometimes you have to really like keep up with your life points. If you're stuck in one of those lightning attacks, then you will lose massive LP and die really fast. Now the next boss is called Tertius, and this is my personal favorite one, as he summons minions when he reaches certain life points of his. Now he first summons 3 normal attack minions who just attack you, and then he summons a minion that can stun you. Now this is the good part, because he can stun you, and then if he does the lightning attack on top of you, you will die really fast. So this one is really fun to do. Now in order to get out of the stun, you can use freedom, but if you use anticipation as well, you won't get stunned by him. So always be sure to use anticipation when he's out there. Then the last minion heals him, so when that minion is out, be sure to get that minion down. Now you can use bombardment and the other one that's an AoE as well, so you can kill the minions really easily. And yeah, just run around the room, and that's basically it. Alright, so the final boss is Primus, and I found this one to be the easiest one out of them all. His ability is that he becomes stronger over time, and that he does more damage if you step on the lightning. But as long as you avoid the lightning, then pretty much this one is really easy, and you could kill him really fast. So yeah, this one is not all too hard, but if you get stuck in the lightning before he's almost dead, then you can die really fast, as those lightnings at some point hit 4k then instead of 2k. So yeah, that can be a bit dangerous, but other than that, this one is pretty easy. Just run around the room like all the other ones. Alright, so that's about it for the video, guys. Now, I also forgot to mention that each boss drops its own signet, and you need 6 signets in order to make the bow, and those signets are also not tradable. So if you want to make the bow, you need to gather all 6 pieces yourself, otherwise you won't be able to do anything with just 5 pieces. So yeah guys, that's for the video. If you thought this was helpful or have any other questions, be sure to let me know, and I'll see you guys next time.